Hello, people, or whoever's jumping onto this. Let's get straight into it today and what we are looking at. Hold on, before I do, let me just disconnect this Wi-Fi so that hopefully it works a little bit better. Right, what we are looking at today is, as that post says, it's not okay for parents to force their children into sports activities that they don't enjoy. And this was a really interesting topic for me, and I think I can prove my point with a really simple question, which is kids always know what's best for them, and especially they know what's best for them long term, and so kids should make all their decisions. Clearly, that's a no. I believe the role of a parent, educator, or guardian, or someone who cares for kids is to know what the longer term path is, understand where you're going to take them, why. They don't need to understand that. They're a kid, right? They don't have the perspective that you do. And then, even if they don't want to do some of those actions, your role as a parent is to get them to do it because you know it's better long term. For example, you don't let them eat ice cream every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe they have a little bit. And I tell you what, if they're having too many sweet things, too many sugar things, far too many carbs and processed crap in their life, you're probably going to have a fat kid. And that's an example of making poor short-term and long-term planning decisions. Because and that's not the child's responsibility. I feel very sorry for a lot of kids that I see are highly obese and highly overweight, because I understand the bullying that comes with that, the teasing, the lack of self-confidence. I also know that chance of diabetes, the risk of heart disease, all these negative things that come from it, and it's a result of making poor short-term decisions. Don't give me this crap that they're big bone, they've got a disease, yada yada yada. You can find anyone with any disease that's skinny, healthy, and fit. Right? Your child's not the exception. It's poor decisions and poor planning, and just taking the easy option and not willing to do the things that are a little bit hard in the moment to get really, really powerful benefits and results in the long run. So let's have a look at what some of these parents said. And if you disagree with me, if you think I'm full of crap, please tell me. And come with arguments. Like, let me know what I'm missing, because I definitely don't know anything. I have my opinions. I like to think that I formed them over a very long period of time with a lot of personal experience working with kids, families, to back it up, but also my own personal experience, and then reading different books from various experts, different studies when it comes to certain things, and forming my opinion based on that information. If you disagree with me, cool. Just because I've done those things definitely doesn't make my opinion correct. A lot of the time I am wrong. I like being proven wrong with good arguments. So if you have that, boom, drop the comments in, tell me why I'm horrible. If you want to jump on the call, let me know, and I may actually be able to bring, I can bring you onto the call and you can tell me why I'm wrong. But let's go have a look at what some of these parents had to say in the comments here. Hold on, let me just make that bigger. Bang, all right, should be able to see that now. Does keep them fit, make close, mate, but not all kids are into that. Yep. And I don't disagree with this comment. I think the key is then, like, how many kids love eating broccoli? Not many. If you've got your own garden and you grow your own, the flavor and the taste is very different. And I just think gardening is a brilliant approach and thing to take kids through regardless. But they'll actually enjoy the process of eating broccoli. Usually that's not the case, but you still make them do it because you know it's good for them, right? And that just is what it is. So you do want to try and find things that they're interested in. But a lot of kids don't even know what it is they're being offered. And they say no to it because that's human nature, right? That's naturally, we don't want to try and do different things. We like comfort. We like ease. So unless you're trained in the way to push yourself outside your comfort zone, you're not going to naturally make that decision. And kids are the same, right? They're curious, but they're not going to go and put themselves in an environment with all these new people in this new location, all this sort of stuff, because it's a bit scary. For me, it's the parents' job to push them through to do that because they understand that there are long-term benefits. Sam says there's a fine line between encouraging a more active lifestyle and forcing a child to do something. I think the difference is how the parent approaches it with their child. I'd agree. Explaining why they need to participate in physical activity and having the child be a part of the decision-making process is probably the best way to go about it. And participating in it with them also helps. Now, I would agree with a few caveats at having the child involved in the decision. You let them be involved in the decision, but not in control of the outcome. So you create the parameters of the outcome with two decisions. This is from a really, really good book that I read on communication with how to talk so little kids will listen. I think it's somebody Faber. Brilliant book if you want to improve your communication skills with kids. I don't remember what she calls the technique, but it's like you've got this decision and you want to give them responsibility, right? But you decide, okay, for you, regardless, you have to do a physical activity. So they say, oh, I don't like this. So instead of saying, okay, cool, you don't have to do it, you say, look, you have to do something physically active every single day. Now, if you don't like this, that's fine. What you can do is you can try it for a term, and if you still don't like it, you can choose to do something else. Or you can, that would probably be the way that I'd go. I'd make them give it a go for at least a term, because again, most kids don't know when they start. Or you could say, look, if after 2 weeks of really not liking it, because this is something that we have to pay for, if you can work out a way to make money in the meantime, and I actually think this is a great thing, by starting your own little business, selling some lemonade out front of the house, whatever they are good at in that regard, and you can pay for the rest of the term if you don't want to do it, and you give that money, cool, we'll move you into another sport, and that's fine. And they don't lose there. They're actually learning two really, really valuable skills. They've got responsibility. They're going to be physically fit. Their mind's going to be working. And if they choose to opt out, then they've got the responsibility. They're starting to learn some financial responsibility as well. And learning that skill to actually make that money, really, really impressive. I don't think most kids would do that, but some would. And if they're geared that way, that's really cool, because then you're finding another skill that they're really, really powerful in. That would be an approach there, but you don't just be like, okay, cool, you don't have to do it, in my opinion. Right, let's look at next one. As coach, it's frustrating to see kids being forced to play a sport they don't enjoy or have no interest in. Now, this I agree with, because I've done it, but I also don't agree with, and I'll tell you why. Struggle to motivate. It makes it harder as a coach to get kids into sport that they're not super keen about. That is hard. And when parents just sort of force them and they just hate it, and they're continually forcing them, then it's not beneficial. But I also believe on that front is you have to look at the coach and their teaching style and be like, okay, cool. What have you actually tried so that, or how have you adapted your approach so that this child might actually enjoy what you're doing? How have you looked at how they learn things, how they respond to things, and been like, okay, cool, maybe I can like incorporate this into my classes, maybe I can adjust this so that they'll respond more positively to this aspect and they'll be able to learn in this way. You know, maybe there's someone who doesn't like being with other kids, so you do more individual things. Maybe there's someone, all kids are like this, who needs more gamified learning. So what new games are you researching? How have you come across different ways to gamify certain techniques or skills that you're doing in different ways so that they're learning the exact same thing? It just looks different, right? Because a lot of kids need that as well. And that's part of the skill of the coach. So it can be, I agree with not forcing them over an extended period of time, because it's bad for them, it's bad for the other kids, and it's bad for the coach. No one wins. Everyone loses there. They have to stick at it for a little while. But then as the coach, if that's your response, what are you doing to upskill yourself and become better? If you're not doing anything, then you're the issue, not the child. So if you don't introduce your kid, hold on, sorry, let's jump back. If you You don't need your kids to know how they are going to. Da, da, da. Yep, 100% agree. Which is why you need to push them a little bit. Depends. I have insisted on my children do certain activities for a couple of reasons. One of it is if they're committed to it and they're in a team, pulling out would let the team down. Or I've spent money on it, then they need to at least finish off the season. That's cool. That's where I'll give them an option. If you really don't want to do it, go out and make this money, and as soon as you make enough to pay for the end of the season, you can quit. And that, gives them that sort of freedom. Safety, yeah, and this is massive for me. Like the amount of people, there's a lot of people that really see swimming as a non-negotiable, right? And I agree with it. For me, it would be a non-negotiable, 100%. But it makes a lot more sense to me to have something like self-defense be a non-negotiable, because how many hours of the day or the percentage of their life are the kids actually around water? And I know the potential downside can be pretty bad, right? If something goes wrong, not going to end well. But if the kids are around other people all day, every single day, and when they come into difficult confrontations, if they don't have physical skills, or they don't understand how to create space, or they don't understand how to find someone to help keep them safe, or like these basic things, then you've got emotional trauma, you've got mental illnesses that stem from this, you've got depression, you've got anxiety, you've got the bullying effects. It could be self-harm. It could be maybe they're harmed by others. It can be an abuse thing. It could be a sexual abuse thing. And the stats around these things are insanely common. Like, the rates of depression and anxiety aren't going down. They're going up. The rates of suicide in kids are going up. The rates of sexual abuse in kids are going up. These are all really bad things. And yet, no one seems to think that learning some basic self-defense is at least as important as learning how to swim. Blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. And I mean, even as an extra step, you get parents who have had really bad experiences. I've talked to a lot of parents whose kids have been bullied or whatever, and then they do come and do something about it, which is great. I mean, ideally, you don't have to get to that point to do something. It just makes so much more sense for me if people just have this as an idea already, right? Self-defense in some way, shape, or form is very, very important for your child to learn, and they should be doing it in some way, shape, or form. That being said, if your kids don't, I'm just going to drop the link in the comments to my 6-week beginner program for kids. It's the Yellow Belt program. Phenomenal, right? It works out to be like less than $6 a class, I think, or it's less than $6.50 a class. Super cheap, and you can do it as many times as you want. If you've got multiple kids, it goes down even further because it's just one time each family. Go through, do the course. The kids are going to learn the basic self-defense skills that I believe are most essential for the situations they're likely to encounter. They're going to learn how to alert other people if there's danger. They're going to learn what to do if there's a fire. They're going to learn what to do if they're grabbed, if they're pushed. They're going to become more confident, more resilient, more courageous, and they're obviously going to learn the basic self-defense skills, but not in a way that's designed to hurt or harm other people. Really, really important course. If you haven't done it yet, hit that link and go get that for your kids. Let's just go over the last of this quickly and I'll jump off. Yeah, okay, look, that pretty much covers it. So I'm just going to leave it there. You've got the link to that. If you disagree with anything that I've said, boom, drop it in the comments. Let me know why. Happy to be wrong. Happy to be proven wrong. If you don't think you should be forcing your kids to, or encouraging very strongly, if you prefer that term, to go and do these new things or new skills or new sports, or whether it be for health, whether it be for safety, whatever the reasoning. Why? How is that going to benefit your kids long term? Maybe it will. I'm not sold on that, obviously, but if you are, please share the idea with me because it allows me to clear up what I'm posting about, what I'm telling people. So I'm going to leave that there. Thanks very much, guys, for jumping on. Drop a comments below and go and do that course. I'll drop one more in there for you guys that are like, oh, no, $6 a class is too much, which I'm going to laugh at a bit because it's not. But I've got a free 7-day trial on there as well. And if you want to get to know a little bit, oh, that's the wrong one. If you want to get to know a little bit about my courses without having to pay just yet, that's fine. Just go and do this one. Chuck your email in. It's worth about $95. I give it to you guys for free just for watching, and that's to benefit your kids. It's not as structured. It's not as beneficial as the paid course, of course, but it is a brilliant, brilliant start, and it's a good opportunity to see if your kids are actually going to respond to the format that I've got, which is also very important. If they don't train with me, take them to train with someone. This stuff is too important. Righto, guys. See you there. Keep your kids safe.